Imagine this. Two friends, John and Mike, are sitting outside after a long day. Both are tired. Both work hard every day. But at the end of the month, both still have no money left. John looks at Mike and says, "We work so hard, so why are we still broke?" Mike stays quiet because deep down he is thinking the same thing. This is a very common problem. Many people work hard. They earn money, but somehow the money disappears. It feels like no matter how much they try, they never move forward. This is exactly where the story of this book begins. The book, The Richest Man in Babylon, starts with two friends who are tired of being poor. They look at people around them who are rich, and they wonder, what are they doing differently? They realize something very simple, but very powerful. It is not about how hard you work. It is about how you manage the money you earn. The main idea of this chapter is very clear. If you want to become rich, you must learn how money works. And more importantly, you must control your money instead of letting your money control you. Let's break this down in a very simple way. Think about your income like water coming into a bucket. Every month you get money, but your expenses are like holes in the bucket. Rent, food, bills, shopping, small things, big things. Slowly, all the water leaks out. At the end, the bucket is empty again. Most people think the solution is simple. I just need more water. That means they think they need more income. But the real problem is the holes. This chapter teaches us that before trying to earn more, you must learn to keep some of what you already earn. Because if you cannot keep money, even a big income will not help you. Let's understand this with a small story. John earns $1,000 every month. At the end of the month, he spends all $1,000. So his savings are zero. Mike also earns $1,000 every month. But he decides to keep $100 every month, no matter what. He adjusts his spending and uses only $900. After 1 month, Mike has $100. After 10 months, he has $1,000. After some time, he has enough money to invest or handle emergencies. John, on the other hand, is still at zero. Both earn the same, but their habits are different, and that changes everything. This brings us to the first important lesson. Always pay yourself first. This sounds strange at first. People usually pay bills first, then spend money, and save whatever is left. But the truth is, most of the time, nothing is left. So saving never happens. Instead, the book suggests a simple rule. When you get money, take a small part and keep it for yourself before spending anything else. Even if it is just 10%. That money is not for spending. It is for building your future. Now you might think, but I already struggle with my expenses. How can I save? That is a real concern. But the book explains something very logical. Humans adjust. If you earn $1,000, you will somehow manage your life within that amount. If you keep $100 and live on $900, at first it feels hard, but slowly you adjust your habits. You may cut unnecessary things. You may think more before spending. You may stop buying things you do not really need. And over time, it becomes normal. This leads to the second important lesson. Control your expenses. Many people think their expenses are fixed, but in reality, most expenses are choices. Some are necessary, like basic needs, but many are just wants, and wants never end. When you fulfill one want, another one appears. Let's say Sarah buys a new phone. After a few months, she wants new clothes. Then she wants to eat out more often. Then she wants a better phone again. This cycle never stops. If she follows every want, her money will always disappear. But if Sarah decides to control her wants, she can save money. She can ask herself a simple question before spending. Do I really need this, or do I just want it? This small question can save a lot of money. The book shows that rich people are not just lucky. They are careful. They think before they spend. They make sure their money is used wisely. Now, let's look at the third important lesson. Your money should work for you. At the beginning, you work for money. You give your time and energy and you get paid. But if you only keep working like this, you will always need to work to earn money. But what if your saved money starts working for you? Imagine Mike again. He saved money every month. After some time, He has a good amount. Now, instead of keeping it idle, he uses it in a smart way. Maybe he invests it in something that gives returns. Now his money starts growing. So now two things are happening. Mike is working and earning money, and his money is also working and earning more money. This is how wealth slowly grows. John, on the other hand, never saved anything, so he has nothing to invest. His money never gets a chance to grow. This is a very simple idea, but very powerful. Money that is saved can grow. Money that is spent is gone forever. Let's connect all these ideas into one simple journey. At the start, both John and Mike are confused and frustrated. They work hard but see no progress. Then they understand one simple truth. It is not about working harder. It is about managing money better. Mike starts small. He saves a little every month. At first, it feels uncomfortable. He has to control his spending. He cannot buy everything he wants. But slowly he gets used to it. After some time, he sees results. He has savings. He feels more secure. He has less stress. Then he takes the next step. He uses his savings to grow his money. Now his situation is different. He is not just working for survival. He is building something. John does not change anything. He continues his old habits. After months and years, his situation stays the same. The difference between them is not luck. It is not intelligence. It is not hard work. The difference is simple habits and decisions. The first chapter of this book is not trying to teach something complicated. It is showing a basic truth. If you do not control your money will control you. Many people think money problems are big and complex, but most of the time, they come from small daily choices. Spending without thinking, not saving anything, ignoring the future. This chapter tells us that change does not need to be big. You do not need a huge income to start. You just need a small habit. Keep apart what you earn. Control your spending. Let your money grow. Over time, these small steps create a big difference. At the end, the message is very clear. Wealth does not come from how much you earn. It comes from how much you keep and how well you use it. So the next time you earn money, remember this simple idea. Do not spend everything. Keep a part for yourself. Protect it, grow it, and slowly your life will start to change. Imagine working every day, trying your best, but still feeling like your money just disappears. You earn, you spend, and at the end of the month, nothing is left. Now think about this simple question. What if the problem is not how much you earn, but how you use what you earn? Let's start with a small story. John is a young man who works hard. Every month, he gets his salary and feels happy for a few days. He buys things he likes, pays his bills, eats out, and enjoys life. But by the end of the month, his wallet is empty again. Then he wonders, why am I still broke even though I work so much? One day, he meets his friend Mike, who earns almost the same amount. But Mike is calm, relaxed, and even talks about saving and investing. John gets confused. How can two people earn the same but live so differently? This is exactly what Chapter 2 of the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, explains in a very simple and powerful way. The chapter is called The Richest Man in Babylon, and it tells the story of a man named Arkad, who was once poor but became very rich over time. People around him were surprised and wanted to know his secret, so they went to him and asked, "How did you become rich while we are still struggling?" Arkad didn't give a complicated answer. He shared a simple idea that anyone can follow, and that idea is the heart of this chapter. The main idea of this chapter is this. If you want to become rich, you must first learn how to keep money, not just earn money. This may sound very simple, but most people ignore it. We all focus on earning more, but very few people focus on keeping what they earn. Arkad explains that money is like a worker. If you save it and use it wisely, it can work for you and bring more money. But if you spend everything, you lose that chance. Now, let's break down the important lessons in a very simple way. The first lesson is, pay yourself first. This means that every time you earn money, you should keep a small part for yourself before spending anything else. Even before paying bills or buying things, you must save at least a small portion. Arkad suggests saving 1/10 of what you earn. That means if John earns 1,000, he should save 100 and use the remaining 900 for everything else. At first, this sounds difficult. John might say, I already have so many expenses. How can I save more? But here is the truth. Expenses always grow to match your income. If you earn more, you also spend more. So the problem is not your income, but your habit. Let's look at a simple example. Sarah earns $500 every month. She decides to save $50 first. Now she has $450 left. At first, she feels like it's not enough. But slowly, she adjusts her spending. She cuts small, unnecessary things, like buying things she doesn't really need. After a few months, she gets used to it. Now she has a growing savings, and she doesn't even feel the difference. This is the power of paying yourself first. It forces you to build a habit of saving, no matter how small your income is. The second lesson is, control your expenses. This does not mean you should stop enjoying life. It simply means you should learn the difference between needs and wants. Many people think everything they spend on is necessary, but that is not true. John used to believe that eating out every weekend was necessary. He thought buying new clothes every month was important. But when he looked closely, he realized many of these were just wants, not needs. Once he understood this, he started making better choices. Let's say Mike earns $1,000 and spends $900 wisely, while John also earns $1,000 but spends all $1,000 without thinking. Over time, Mike will have savings and peace of mind, while John will always feel pressure. The key idea here is simple. You should enjoy your money but not waste it. Spend on things that truly matter, and avoid spending just for short-term pleasure. The third lesson is, make your money grow. Saving money is the first step, but it is not enough. If you just save and keep your money sitting, it will not grow much. Arkett explains that you should make your money work for you. Think of it like this. If you save $100 and keep it safe, it will remain $100. But if you use that $100 wisely, it can become $110, then $120, and keep growing over time. For example, Mike saved some money and decided to invest it in something that gives returns. Over time, his money started increasing. Then he reinvested the extra money, and it kept growing even more. This is how wealth is built slowly. John, on the other hand, never saved anything, so he never got a chance to grow his money. He kept working hard, but his money never worked for him. This lesson shows that money should not stay idle. It should be used in a smart way so it can grow. Now, let's see the full journey in a simple way. At the beginning, John was confused and frustrated. He worked hard but had nothing saved. Then he learned these simple ideas. First, he started saving a small part of his income. It was not easy, but he stayed consistent. Then he looked at his expenses and removed unnecessary spending. Slowly, he started feeling more in control. After some time, he used his savings in a smart way to grow his money. After a few months, he noticed something surprising. He was not earning more than before, but he felt richer. He had savings. He had less stress. He had control over his money. This is the real change. It is not about earning more. It is about using what you earn in a better way. The beauty of this chapter is that it does not ask you to do anything difficult. It does not require special skills or big risks. It only asks for simple habits and discipline. Anyone can follow these steps. Even a child can understand this idea. If you earn something, save a part, control your spending, and use your money to grow, you will slowly become financially strong. At the end of the day, the message is very clear. Money is not about luck. It is about behavior. Two people can earn the same amount, but the one who manages money wisely will always be ahead. So the next time you receive money, don't think about what to buy first. Think about what to keep first. That small change can completely change your future. If you remember just one thing from this chapter, remember this. It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep and grow that makes you rich. Imagine this for a moment. Two people work the same job. They earn the same money every month. But after a few years, one person is always broke, stressed, and worried. The other person is calm, saving money and slowly becoming rich. What is the difference? It is not luck. It is not talent. It is something much simpler. Let's take a short story. John and Mike both get their first job. They both earn $10,000 every month. John spends almost everything. He buys new shoes, eats outside, and upgrades his phone often. At the end of the month, he has nothing left. Sometimes he even borrows money. Mike does something different. The moment he gets a salary, he keeps a small part aside. He does not touch it. He lives on the rest. At first, it feels hard, but slowly he gets used to it. After some months, Mike has savings. After a year, he has a good amount of money. John still has nothing. This simple difference is the heart of Chapter 3 from the book Underscore, The Richest Man in Babylon Underscore. This chapter is called 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. But don't worry about the name. The idea is very simple. It teaches how to stop being broke and start building money step by step. The main idea of this chapter is clear. If you want to grow your money, you must first learn how to keep some of it. Most people earn money, but they do not keep it. They spend everything. That is why they stay poor, no matter how much they earn. The first and most important lesson is this: pay yourself first. This means when you earn money, you must save a part of it before spending anything. Not after, before. Think about it like this. When you get your salary, many people take care of expenses first. Rent, food, shopping, fun, and then if something is left, they save it. But most of the time, nothing is left, so they never save. Instead, the book says to reverse this. Save first, even if it is a small amount like 10%, then use the rest for your expenses. This way, saving becomes automatic. You do not depend on what is left. Let's go back to John and Mike. John says, I will save if I have extra money, but there is never extra. Mike says, I will save first, no matter what. Slowly, Mike builds a habit, and that habit changes his life. Now you may think, what if my income is low? How can I save? The book gives a simple answer. You will always adjust your life based on how much you have. If you earn $10,000, you spend $10,000. If you earn $9,000, you learn to live in $9,000. So saving $1,000 is possible if you decide it is important. The second lesson is about controlling your spending. Many people think they need everything they buy, but in reality, there is a big difference between needs and wants. Needs are things you must have. Food, basic clothes, a place to live. Want are things that feel good but are not necessary. Expensive gadgets, eating out often, buying things just because others have them. The problem is, most people treat their wants like needs. They say, I need this new phone, but the old phone still works fine. They say, I need to go out every weekend. But that is not true. The book teaches that if you do not control your wants, they will control you, and they will eat all your money. Let's look at Sarah. She earns a decent salary, but every time she gets paid, she buys things she likes. New clothes, online orders, small treats. Each one feels small, but together they become big. At the end of the month, she has no savings. One day, she decides to track her spending. She writes down everything. She realizes she is spending a lot on things she does not truly need. So she makes a change. She cuts some of those wants. Not all, just some. Now she saves money without feeling unhappy. This is the idea. You do not have to stop enjoying life, but you must be aware. You must choose wisely. The third lesson is about making your money grow. Saving money is good, but just saving is not enough. Your money should also work for you. Think of money like a worker. If you keep it sitting, it does nothing. But if you use it smartly, it can bring more money. For example, Mike saves money every month. After some time, he has a good amount. Instead of letting it sit, he invested in something that gives returns. Slowly, his money grows. Then that new money also starts working. It is like planting a seed. At first, it is small, but if you take care of it, it becomes a tree. Then the tree gives more seeds. But the book also gives a warning. Do not rush. Do not put your money into things you do not understand. Many people lose money because they try to get rich fast. They follow advice from the wrong people. For example, John hears about a quick way to double money. He gets excited. He invests without thinking. He loses everything. Now he is back to zero. Mike does something different. He takes time. He learns. He asks people who have real experience. He chooses safe and simple ways to grow his money. It may be slow, but it is steady. So the lesson is clear. Make your money grow, but do it wisely. Now let's see the journey clearly. At the start, most people are like John. They earn, they spend, and they struggle. Then they learn one simple idea. Save first. That changes everything. Then they control their spending. Now they have more money left. Then they make that money grow. Now, their money starts working for them. Over time, this creates a big change. Imagine two paths. One path is spending everything and staying stuck. The other path is saving a little, controlling spending and growing money. At first, both paths look similar. But after some time, the difference becomes huge. This chapter is not about becoming rich overnight. It is about building strong habits. Small actions done again and again. Let's simplify everything into a clear thought. Money does not grow by chance. It grows by simple rules. Keep some money. Control your spending. Make your money work. Even a 10-year-old can understand this. If you get 100, save 10. Use 90. Do this every time. Then slowly, your savings grow. Most people think money problems need big solutions. But this chapter shows the truth. Small habits create big results. Now think about your own life. Do you save first, or do you save what is left? Do you know where your money goes? Are you making your money grow, or is it just sitting? These questions are important because your answers decide your future. The final message is very simple and very powerful. You do not need a big salary to start building wealth. You just need the right habits. Start small, be consistent, stay patient. Just like Mike, you can slowly change your life. Not in one day, but over time. And one day, you will look back and see how those small steps made a big difference. Imagine this for a moment. Two people earn the same money every month. After a few years, one of them is always relaxed, has savings, and can handle any problem easily. The other is always stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, and worried about even small expenses. Now, the question is simple. What did the first person do differently? Let's take a short story. Meet John. John works hard and earns a decent income, but every month his money disappears. Rent, food, small fun expenses, and suddenly he has nothing left. One day, his car breaks down and he has no savings to fix it. He feels stuck. Then John meets his friend Mike. Mike earns the same as John, but somehow he always has extra money saved. John asks, "How are you doing this?" Mike smiles and says, "I just learned one simple rule and followed it every single month." This is exactly what Chapter 4 of The Richest Man in Babylon teaches. The chapter is called Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. But instead of thinking about luck as magic or chance, the book explains it in a very logical way. It shows that what we call luck is often just a result of smart decisions and taking action at the right time. The main idea of this chapter is simple. Good opportunities come to everyone, but only people who are prepared and who act quickly can take advantage of them. So, what looks like luck from the outside is actually the result of being ready and making smart choices. Let's break this down in a very easy way. Imagine Sarah hears about a chance to invest in something that could grow her money. She thinks about it, but keeps delaying. She says, "I'll decide tomorrow." Then tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next month. Finally, the opportunity is gone. Later, she sees someone else who took that same chance and made good money. Now it feels like that person was lucky, but the truth is, Sarah had the same chance. She just didn't act. Now think about Emma. Emma hears about the same opportunity. She doesn't rush blindly, but she also doesn't delay too much. She checks if it makes sense, trusts her understanding, and takes action. After some time, her decision pays off. People say, "Emma is so lucky," but Emma knows it was not luck. It was her decision to act when the chance came. This chapter teaches us that luck is not something that randomly happens to a few people. It comes more often to people who are ready to use it. If you keep missing chances, you will feel unlucky. If you take action, you will feel lucky. One important lesson here is that delay is dangerous. Many people lose opportunities not because they are bad or unlucky, but because they wait too long. They keep thinking, doubting, or feeling unsure. Of course, Thinking is important, but overthinking stops action. And when action stops, opportunities disappear. Let's go back to John. After talking to Mike, John realizes something. He remembers that he had many chances in the past. Someone once told him about starting a small side business. Another time, he had a chance to save money regularly, but every time he said, "I'll start later." Now, he understands that his problem was not money. His problem was delay. So John decides to change one habit. Whenever he sees a good opportunity, he will not ignore it or delay it too much. He will think clearly and act quickly. Another lesson from this chapter is about preparation. Imagine a simple example. There's a job opening with a higher salary. 2 people apply. One has learned new skills and improved over time. The other has not. When the opportunity comes, the prepared person gets the job. The other person says, he was lucky, but the truth is, preparation created that luck. This idea is very powerful. If you want more luck in life, don't wait for it. Prepare yourself. Learn new skills. Save some money. Build good habits. Then, when a chance comes, you are ready to grab it. Let's take a small daily life example. Mike saves a part of his income every month. Because of this, he has some extra money. One day, he finds a great deal to buy something valuable at a low price. He can take it because he has savings. John sees the same deal but cannot act because he has no savings. Later, the value increases and Mike benefits. Again, it looks like Mike is lucky, but in reality, his saving habit created that luck. This shows another simple truth. Luck favors people who are disciplined. Small actions done regularly create big results later. The chapter also talks about confidence in decision-making. Many people are afraid of making mistakes, so they avoid taking action. But this fear becomes a bigger problem than the mistake itself. Because when you don't act, you lose chances again and again. Think about it like this. If you try something and it doesn't work, you learn. Next time, you make a better decision. But if you never try, you never learn. And without learning, you keep missing chances. Let's see how John's journey changes. At first, he was confused and always broke. Then he understood that his delay and fear were holding him back. He started saving a small part of his income every month. He also started paying attention to opportunities around him. One day, he got a chance to invest in a small project with his friend. This time, instead of delaying, he checked the basics and decided to go for it. Slowly, his confidence grew. After some time, John was no longer stressed about money. He had savings. He had taken a few smart chances. Now, from the outside, people started saying, John is getting lucky these days. But we know the truth. John changed his habits, and that created his luck. So, what is the simple learning from this chapter? Luck is not magic. It is not something that randomly selects people. It is something you create by being ready and taking action. Opportunities are always around you. But if you keep delaying, ignoring, or fearing them, they pass by. To make this even simpler, think of 3 easy steps. First, prepare yourself. This means learning, saving, and improving your skills. Second, stay alert. Notice opportunities when they come. Third, act without unnecessary delay. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never come. Let's take one last example. Imagine 2 friends, Alex and Ryan. Both hear about a chance to learn a new skill that can increase their income. Alex says, "I'm busy right now. I'll do it later." Ryan says, "Let me start with just 30 minutes a day." After a few months, Ryan has a new skill and better opportunities. Alex is still in the same place. Now Alex feels unlucky, but we can clearly see what really happened. The difference was not talent, not intelligence, and not luck. The difference was action. In the end, Chapter 4 teaches a very practical and logical idea. If you want good things to happen in your life, don't wait for luck. Build habits that make you ready. When chances come, take them with confidence. Stop delaying small decisions that can improve your future. Because in real life, the people who look lucky are usually the ones who were ready and brave enough to act. So next time you see someone succeed, don't just say they are lucky. Ask yourself a better question. Did they prepare? Did they act when the chance came? And then quietly start doing the same in your own life. Imagine this. You work hard every day. You earn money. But somehow, at the end of the month, your wallet feels empty again. You wonder, where did all my money go? Now imagine another person who earns the same as you, but somehow always has savings, peace of mind, and growing wealth. What is the difference between these two people? This is exactly what this chapter wants you to understand. Let's start with a simple story. John works at a regular job. Every month he earns money, pays his bills, buys things he likes, and then waits for the next paycheck. One day, an unexpected problem comes up. Maybe his phone breaks, or he needs money urgently. Now John feels stressed because he has no savings. On the other side, there's Mike. He earns almost the same as John. But when a problem comes, Mike stays calm. He already has money saved. He does not panic. He handles the situation easily. So what is Mike doing differently? This chapter teaches one very simple but powerful idea. Before you spend your money on anything else, you must pay yourself first. That means when you earn money, a part of it should always be kept for you, not for bills, not for shopping, not for others, but for your future. This sounds simple, but most people never follow it. Now think about it logically. Every month, you pay others first. You pay rent, bills, food, subscriptions, and many small things. By the time you think about saving, there is nothing left. So saving becomes something you do if possible. But in reality, it should be the first thing you do, not the last. This small change in thinking can change your entire life. Let's break this idea down in a very simple way. Suppose you earn $100. The rule is to keep at least $10 for yourself before doing anything else. You can spend the remaining $90 however you want. At first, this might feel hard. You may think, how can I manage everything with less money? But here is the truth. Humans adjust very quickly. If you have $90, you'll find a way to manage within that amount. Your brain will naturally start cutting unnecessary expenses. Let's go back to John. When John earns money, he spends it without thinking much. He buys things because they feel good at that moment. Maybe a new gadget, eating out often, or things he doesn't really need. These small decisions feel normal, but over time they keep him stuck. He never builds a safety net. So even small problems feel big. Now look at Mike again. Mike follows one rule. Every time he earns money, he keeps 10% aside. He treats this money like it does not exist. He does not touch it for daily expenses. Slowly, month by month, his savings grow. At first, it is small, then it becomes bigger. After some time, Mike starts feeling a new kind of confidence. Not because he earns more, but because he controls his money better. This chapter also teaches another important idea. Saving money is not enough. The saved money should grow. If you just keep money sitting somewhere, it will not increase. But if you use it wisely, it can start earning more money for you. This is where the real power begins. Your money starts working instead of you working all the time. Let's understand this with a simple example. Sarah saves $10 every month and keeps it in a box. After 1 year, she has $120. That's good, but Emma does something different. She also saves $10 every month, but she uses it in a way that it grows, maybe through a simple safe investment or by using it to create something that earns. After 1 year, she might have more than $120. Over time, this difference becomes huge. Now think about the journey here. At the start, both John and Mike had the same problem. They earned money but had nothing left. Then Mike understood one simple rule. Pay yourself first. He started saving. Slowly, he built a habit. Then he learned to make his money grow. Over time, his life changed. He became more secure, more relaxed, and more in control. There is also a hidden lesson in this chapter. Discipline is more important than how much you earn. Many people think, if I earn more, I will save more. But this is not true. If you cannot save from a small income, you will not save from a big income either. Your habits stay the same. That is why this rule is powerful. It builds a habit first. Let's take another simple situation. Imagine you get a salary increase. Most people immediately increase their spending. They upgrade their lifestyle. They buy more things. So even though they earn more, they still feel the same financial pressure. But someone who follows this rule will increase their savings first, not their spending. This creates a gap between earning and spending, and that gap is where wealth grows. This chapter is not about complicated ideas. It is about a simple system that works if you follow it. You don't need to be smart with numbers. You don't need special skills. You just need one habit. Always keep a part of what you earn for yourself. Now let's look at one more example to make it very clear. David and Alex both start working at the same time. David spends everything he earns for 5 years. Alex saves 10% every month for 5 years. After 5 years, David has nothing. Alex has a good amount saved. Now, Alex can use that money to create more income. Maybe he starts a small project or invests wisely. Over the next 5 years, Alex's money grows faster. David, on the other hand, is still starting from zero. So the real difference is not luck. It is not intelligence. It is just one habit repeated over time. Another important thing is control. When you save first, you are telling your money what to do. When you don't save, your money controls you. Every small expense starts deciding your life. This is why many people feel stuck even when they earn well. They never take control. At first, this habit might feel uncomfortable. You might feel like you are missing out on things. But over time, it becomes normal. In fact, it feels strange not to save. And the peace of mind you get is much bigger than the small things you give up. So what is the final message of this chapter? It is very simple. If you want to build wealth, start by keeping a part of everything you earn. Do it every time, no matter what. Treat it as a rule, not an option. Then slowly learn how to grow that money. Over time, this small habit will change your life. If you remember just one line from this chapter, let it be this. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. Not later, not if possible, but right now, every time you earn. That's how the journey starts. What if I told you that the biggest reason most people struggle with money is not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't know how to protect what they already have? Imagine working hard every day, saving little by little, and then suddenly losing it all because of one wrong decision. That's exactly what happens to many people. And this chapter explains why. Let's start with a simple story. John is a hardworking guy. He earns money, saves some of it, and finally feels proud that he has built a small amount of wealth. One day, his friend Mike comes to him with an exciting idea. Mike says, "Hey, John, I found a great way to double your money quickly. Just invest it here." John gets excited. He trusts Mike and wants fast growth. Without thinking too much, he gives all his savings. After some time, the money is gone. The plan fails. Now John is back to zero, feeling confused and regretful. This situation is very common. And this is exactly what Chapter 6 of The Richest Man in Babylon teaches us. The chapter is called The Gold Lender of Babylon, and its main idea is very simple. Before you try to grow your money, you must first learn how to protect it, because losing money hurts much more than slowly growing it. The story in this chapter talks about a man who lends money to others. He is careful, patient, and wise. People come to him asking for loans, and instead of blindly giving money, he studies them. He asks simple questions. Can this person really return the money? Does this person understand what they're doing? Is this a safe decision or just a risky guess? Based on these answers, he decides whether to give money or not. The main idea is clear. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Just because something sounds exciting or profitable does not mean it is safe. Many people lose money because they chase quick results without understanding the risk. Let's break this down in a very simple way. Imagine Sarah. She saves money every month. After 1 year, she has a good amount. Now she sees an online ad that says, "Double your money in 10 days." It sounds amazing, but think logically. If it was that easy, everyone would be rich. Sarah needs to stop and think. Where is the money coming from? Who is running this? What is the risk? If she cannot answer these questions clearly, it is not a safe decision. This brings us to the first important lesson of this chapter. Protect your money before trying to grow it. This means you should always ask one simple question. Can I lose this money? If the answer is yes, then you need to be very careful. Money grows slowly, but it can disappear very fast. So your first job is not to become rich quickly. Your first job is to avoid losing what you already have. Now let's understand this with another example. Mike has some savings. He decides to lend money to his friend who wants to start a business. But Mike does not check if his friend has any experience or plan. He just trusts him. After a few months, the business fails and the money is gone. The mistake here is not lending money. The mistake is lending money without thinking. On the other hand, Emma also has savings. Someone comes to her asking for money for a business. Emma asks questions. Do you have experience? What is your plan? How will you return the money? If the answers are not clear, she says no. This does not make her rude. It makes her smart. She is protecting her money. The second important lesson is, take advice only from people who understand what they are talking about. This sounds simple, but many people ignore it. They take advice from friends, family, or random people who have no real knowledge. Just because someone is confident does not mean they are correct. Think about John again. He trusted Mike's advice without checking if Mike had any real knowledge. If John had asked someone experienced, someone who understands investments, he might have made a better decision. The chapter teaches that if you want to invest money, learn from people who have real experience in that area. For example, if you want to start a small business, talk to someone who has already run a business. If you want to invest in something, talk to someone who has successfully done it for years. Do not take advice from someone who is guessing or just trying something new. Now, let's move to the third important lesson. Avoid things you do not understand. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They invest in things just because others are doing it or because it sounds exciting. Imagine Sarah hears about a new type of investment. Everyone around her is talking about it. She does not understand how it works, but she does not want to feel left out, so she puts her money into it. This is risky. If you do not understand something, you cannot judge if it is safe or dangerous. A smarter approach is simple. If you do not understand it, do not invest in it. Take time to learn first. Ask questions. Study it. If after learning, it still feels confusing, it is better to stay away. This chapter also shows a clear journey. At first, people like John make mistakes. They lose money because they trust too easily or act too quickly. Then they start to understand. They realize that money needs protection. They learn to ask questions. They become careful. Finally, they make better decisions and keep their money safe. This journey is important because it shows that mistakes are normal. But repeating the same mistake is not smart. Learning from mistakes is what makes a person better with money. Let's connect everything with one simple real-life situation. Imagine you get your first job. You start earning money. At first, you feel excited. You want to grow your money fast. You see many options. Some promise quick profit. Some people give advice. If you follow everything blindly, you might lose your money. But if you slow down, ask questions, and focus on safety, you will protect your money and grow it slowly over time. The chapter is not saying that you should never take risks. It is saying that you should take smart risks. A smart risk is one where you understand what you are doing and where the chance of losing everything is low. So the clear message of this chapter is very simple. Before trying to become rich, learn how to avoid becoming poor. Protect your money. Take advice from the right people. Stay away from things you do not understand. If you follow these simple rules, your money will stay safe and slowly grow. In the end, think about this. Building money is like building a wall brick by brick. It takes time and effort, but one wrong move can break a big part of that wall. So be careful with every decision, because keeping your money safe is the first step toward growing it. Imagine this for a moment. John works every day. He earns money, but at the end of the month, his wallet is empty. No matter how hard he works, nothing stays with him. One day, he gets a chance to make more money. He feels excited, but then he stops and thinks, what if I lose it? So he does nothing. Days pass, the chance is gone, and John is still stuck in the same place. This simple situation shows a very important problem. Many people don't move forward, not because they don't have chances, but because they're afraid to take them. This is exactly what Chapter 7 of the book The Richest Man in Babylon talks about. It teaches a powerful idea in a very simple way. The chapter is called The Walls of Babylon, but it is not really about walls. It is about something much more important. It is about protection. The main idea is this: just like strong walls protect a city, smart habits protect your money and your future. Let's understand this in a very simple way. Think of a city with no walls. Anyone can come in, thieves can enter, enemies can attack. The people inside are always scared. Now think of a city with strong walls. It feels safe. People inside can live peacefully. They can work, grow, and build their lives without fear. In the same way, your life also needs protection, not from enemies, but from bad decisions, fear, and lack of planning. Now let's go back to John. John starts learning about money. He understands one simple rule. If he wants to grow, he must protect what he earns and also be ready to use it wisely. At first, he thinks saving money is enough, but slowly, he realizes something more important. Saving is just the first step. The real growth comes when he uses money in the right way. But here's the problem. Every time John sees an opportunity, fear stops him. He thinks, what if I lose everything? So he keeps his money safe, but it never grows. Now let's understand the first big lesson from this chapter. Fear is a big wall, but it can also be a trap. Fear protects you from making foolish decisions. That is good, but too much fear stops you from making any decision. That is bad. Imagine Sarah. She wants to start a small business. She has some savings. She has a good idea, but she keeps thinking about all the risks. What if it fails? What if I lose my money? So she waits and waits and waits. Years pass. Nothing changes. Now, think about another person, Mike. He also feels fear. But instead of stopping, he asks questions. He learns. He plans. He starts small. He takes a careful step. Yes, there is risk, but there is also growth. The difference between Sarah and Mike is not luck. It is action. This brings us to the second important lesson. Opportunities do not wait forever. When a good chance comes, it does not stay for a long time. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you will miss it. John learns this the hard way. One day, his friend tells him about a simple business idea. It needs small money. It has a good chance to grow. John feels interested, but he delays. He says, I will think about it. A few weeks later, the chance is gone. Someone else took it. This is very common. Many people lose chances not because they're bad, but because they wait too long. Now, this does not mean you should jump into every opportunity. That would be risky. The idea is simple. Think fast, learn fast, and act wisely. Not too fast, not too slow. Now, let's look at the third lesson. Protect your money, but don't let it sit idle. Saving money is like building a wall. It keeps your money safe. But if you only save and never use it, your money will not grow. It will just stay there. Think of Emma. She saves a part of her income every month. That is good, but she also learns how to use that money. She invests in simple things she understands. She takes small risks. Over time, her money starts growing. Now compare this with someone who only saves and never uses money. After many years, they still have the same amount. No growth. So the idea is balance. Protect your money like a strong wall, but also give it a chance to grow. Now let's bring all of this together with a simple journey. John starts as someone who works hard but has nothing saved. Then he learns to save. That is his first step. He feels better. But his life still does not change much. Then he learns about opportunities. He sees chances around him, but fear stops him. Slowly, he understands that fear is normal, but it should not control him. He starts asking questions before making decisions. He learns from others. He takes small steps. Sometimes he wins. Sometimes he makes mistakes. But every time he learns something new, his money slowly grows. More importantly, his confidence grows. Now John is not just working for money. His money is also working for him. This is the real meaning behind the walls in the chapter. It is not just about protection. It is about smart protection. It is about building habits that keep you safe, but also help you grow. Let's make it even simpler. First, earn money with effort. Second, save a part of it regularly. Third, protect it from bad decisions. And fourth, use it wisely to grow. If you miss any of these steps, your progress will slow down. Many people only focus on earning. Some focus only on saving. Very few focus on all steps together. That is why most people stay stuck. The chapter teaches us that safety and growth must go together. Too much risk can destroy you. Too much safety can stop you. So what should you do in real life? If you earn money, start by saving a small part, even if it is very little. Then start learning. Ask simple questions. Where can you use this money? What is safe? What is risky? Who has done this before? Don't rush, but don't delay too much. And most importantly, don't let fear stop you completely. Fear is useful when it makes you careful. It is harmful when it makes you inactive. At the end, the message is very clear. Your future depends on how you protect and use your money. Strong walls in life are not about hiding from risks. They are about being prepared, being careful, and still moving forward. If you remember one simple thing from this story, let it be this. It is not enough to just hold money. You must also learn how to use it at the right time, in the right way. That is how real growth begins. Imagine this. John works every day. He earns money, but somehow, by the end of the month, his pocket is empty again. One day, his friend Mike asks him, "Where does your money go?" John thinks for a moment and realizes he doesn't really know. He works hard, but his money seems to disappear without leaving anything behind. This simple problem is what Chapter 8 of The Richest Man in Babylon talks about. It teaches us a very important idea. Many people lose their money not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't protect what they earn. Money does not stay with people who are careless. It stays with people who are careful and smart. The chapter tells a story about a man who wants to become rich, but instead of growing his money, he keeps losing it. He invests in things he does not understand. He trusts people without checking if they know what they are doing. And because of that, his money slowly disappears. The main idea of this chapter is very simple. If you want to keep your money and grow it, you must protect it from bad decisions. Earning money is only the first step. Keeping it safe is just as important. Let's break this down in a very simple way. First lesson, do not trust advice from people who are not experts. Imagine Sarah wants to invest her money. She asks her friend Emma, who has never invested before. Emma gives her some random advice. Sarah follows it and she loses money. What went wrong? The problem is not Sarah's effort. The problem is that she took advice from someone who did not understand the situation. In real life, this happens all the time. People listen to friends, relatives, or random people who sound confident. But confidence does not mean knowledge. If someone has never done something successfully, their advice is risky. Chapter 8 teaches that before you trust advice, you must ask one simple question. Has this person done it successfully before? If the answer is no, then their advice is like guessing. And guessing with money is dangerous. Second lesson, do not invest in things you do not understand. Let's say Mike hears about a new business idea. It sounds exciting. People say it will make quick money. Without thinking much, Mike puts all his savings into it. But he does not understand how the business works. After some time, the business fails, and Mike loses everything. This is exactly what the chapter warns about. When you don't understand something, you cannot see the risks. You only see the good side. That is why many people lose money. They chase fast results instead of clear understanding. A better approach is simple. If you do not understand something, take time to learn. Ask questions, study it, or simply avoid it. It is always better to miss an opportunity than to lose your money. Third lesson, money grows slowly, not quickly. Many people want fast success. They look for shortcuts. But this chapter clearly shows that quick money often leads to quick loss. Safe and steady growth is the real path. Think about Emma. She saves a small part of her income every month. She invested in something simple that she understands. The growth is slow, but it is safe. After some time, her money becomes bigger, then even bigger. This is how wealth is built. Now compare this with John from the beginning. He tries quick ideas. He follows random advice. He jumps into things without thinking. His journey is fast, but it goes in the wrong direction. So the difference is not effort. Both people are working. The difference is how they handle money. The chapter also shows a small journey. At first, the person makes mistakes. He loses money. Then he realizes the problem is not bad luck. The problem is his decisions. Once he understands this, he changes his behavior. He starts asking the right people. He avoids things he does not understand. Slowly, he stops losing money. This change is very important. Most people think money problems are outside their control, but this chapter shows that many problems come from inside, from choices, from habits, from not thinking carefully. Let's bring this to real life in a very simple way. Imagine you earn $100. You decide to save $10. Now you want to grow that $10. You have two choices. One, you give to someone who promises fast returns, but you don't understand how. Two, you put it into something simple and clear, even if the growth is slow. Most people choose the first option because it sounds exciting, but this is where they lose money. The second option feels boring, but it is safe. Over time, it wins. Another example. Sarah hears that a new product will become very popular. Without checking anything, she invests money into it. But she does not know the market, the demand, or the risks. After some time, the product fails. She loses money. Now, if Sarah had asked someone experienced or taken time to understand, she might have avoided the loss. So the real message is not complicated. It is very logical. Money needs protection. Just like you protect your phone or your important things, you must protect your money from bad decisions. Also, losing money once is not the end. The real problem is not learning from it. The chapter teaches that mistakes can be useful if they help you understand what not to do next time. Think again about John. At first, he is careless. He trusts easily. He wants quick results. But after losing money, he starts thinking. He becomes more careful. He asks better questions. He learns to say no. Slowly, his situation improves. This is a journey the chapter wants you to see. Problem leads to understanding. Understanding leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to safety and growth. At the end, the message is very clear. If you want to build wealth, you must respect your money. Do not let excitement control your decisions. Do not trust blindly. Do not rush into things you do not understand. Instead, be patient. Be careful. Learn before you act. Take advice only from people who have real experience. And remember, slow growth is strong growth, because in the end, it is not about how much money you earn. It is about how much you keep and how wisely you grow it. What if I told you that the biggest mistake people make with money is not about earning less, but about trusting the wrong people? Imagine working hard for years, saving money slowly, and then losing everything in one bad decision. That pain does not come from bad luck. It comes from not understanding how money really works. Let's start with a simple story. John was a hard-working man. He saved money little by little. One day, his friend Mike came to him with a great opportunity. Mike said, "Give me your money and I will double it quickly." It sounded easy. John trusted him. He gave all his savings without asking questions. But after some time, Mike lost the money. John was left with nothing. Now John was not just poor, he was also confused. He kept thinking, I worked so hard. Where did I go wrong? This is exactly what Chapter 9 of The Richest Man in Babylon teaches us. It talked about a very important idea, how to protect your money and how to choose wisely before trusting someone with it. The chapter shows that earning money is only one part of the journey. Keeping it safe and making it grow slowly is even more important. The main idea of this chapter is simple. Before you give your money to someone or invest it anywhere, you must understand what you are doing. If you don't understand, you are taking a risk without knowing it, and most of the time, that leads to loss. Think about it in a very basic way. If you give your phone to someone, you will make sure that person is careful and trustworthy. You won't just hand it to a random person. Then why do people give their money so easily without checking anything? Money is even more valuable than a phone, but people still trust blindly. The chapter teaches that money grows safely only when it is handled with knowledge. If you don't know how something works, don't put your money into it. This is not about being scared. It is about being smart. Let's break this into simple lessons. The first lesson is this: always understand before you invest. Many people see fast profit and get excited. They hear things like quick money or double in a month, and they stop thinking clearly. But if you slow down and ask simple questions, you can avoid big mistakes. Ask yourself, how will this make money? If you don't understand the answer, that is a red flag. For example, Sarah once heard about a new business idea from her co-worker Emma. Emma said it would give big returns. Sarah did not rush. She asked questions. She tried to understand how the business worked, but the answers were not clear, so she decided not to invest. Later, the business failed, and many people lost money. Sarah stayed safe just because she took time to understand. The second lesson is this: take advice only from people who know what they're doing. This is very important. Not everyone is good with money. Some people may be honest, but still make bad decisions because they lack knowledge. If you want advice about health, you go to a doctor. If you want advice about money, you should go to someone who has experience and success in managing money. For example, Mike once asked his friend Tom for investment advice. Tom had never invested before, but he still gave suggestions. Mike followed them and lost money. The mistake was not just a decision. The mistake was trusting advice from someone who was not skilled. Always check if the person giving advice has real experience. The third lesson is this: protect your money first, then think about growth. Many people focus only on earning more. They forget about safety. But if your money is not safe, growth does not matter. It is like filling water in a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it will keep leaking. For example, Emma saved money for years, but she invested all of it in one risky place because it promised high returns. She did not think about safety. When it failed, she lost everything. If she had chosen a safer option, her money would have grown slowly but surely. Now let's look at a small journey to understand this better. Imagine a person named Alex. At the start, Alex earns money but does not think much about saving or investing. Slowly, he learns to save a part of his income. That is his first step. Then he wants to grow his money. He hears many ideas from different people. At first, he feels confused. Some ideas sound very exciting, but instead of jumping in, he decides to learn. He reads, asks questions, and understands basic concepts. Then he starts investing small amounts in things he understands. Over time, his money grows. Not fast, but steady. Most importantly, he does not lose his savings. His journey is simple: from confusion to understanding, and from risk to smart decisions. The chapter also teaches something very practical. It says that money is like a worker. If you treat it well, it works for you and brings more money. But if you send it into risky or unknown places, it may never come back. So your job is to guide your money carefully. You don't need to take big risks. You need to take smart steps. Let's make it even simpler. Imagine you have $100. You want to grow it. You have two choices. One is to give it to someone who promises $200 in a week, but cannot explain how. The other is to invest it in something simple that gives small but steady returns over time. The first option feels exciting, but it is risky. The second option feels slow, but it is safe. Chapter 9 clearly shows that the second choice is the better one in the long run. Another important idea is patience. Good money decisions take time. People who rush often make mistakes. If you feel pressure to decide quickly, that is usually a sign to slow down. Real opportunities do not disappear in a second. You always have time to think and understand. Also, the chapter reminds us that mistakes can happen, but we should learn from them. If you lose money once, don't repeat the same mistake. Instead, understand what went wrong. Did you trust the wrong person? Did you invest without knowledge? Did you chase quick profit? Once you know the reason, you can avoid it in the future. Now think about your own life. Maybe you're not started earning yet, or maybe you are just beginning. This is the best time to build the right habits. Learn how money works. Ask questions. Stay curious. And most importantly, don't rush into decisions just because others are doing it. Let's go back to John from the beginning. After losing his money, he felt bad. But instead of giving up, he decided to learn. He started asking smart questions. He took advice only from experienced people. Slowly, He started investing again, but this time carefully. Over time, he rebuilt his savings. This time, he did not lose it. His success did not come from luck. It came from understanding. So the real message of this chapter is clear. Money is not just about earning. It is about thinking. It is about making smart choices. It is about protecting what you have before trying to grow it. If you understand this, you are already ahead of many people. At the end, remember this simple line. Never let your money go where your mind has not gone first. If you don't understand something, don't invest in it. If you follow this one rule, you will avoid most money problems in life. Imagine this. John works every day. He earns money, but by the end of the month, his wallet is empty. He feels confused. He asks himself, where did all my money go? One day, he decides to track his spending. He writes down every expense. At first, it feels boring, but soon, he notices something important. He is spending money on many small things that don't really matter. That is when he starts to understand a simple truth. Money doesn't disappear, it gets used, either wisely or carelessly. This idea connects deeply with Chapter 10 of the book Underscore, The Richest Man in Babylon Underscore by George S. Clason. This chapter focuses on a very simple but powerful idea: protecting your wealth. It is not enough to earn money. It is not enough to save money. You must also protect it from loss. Many people work hard, save money, and then lose it because they make poor decisions or trust the wrong advice. The main idea of this chapter is clear. If you want to keep your money and grow it, you must be careful. You must think before you invest or spend. You must understand what you are doing. Money can grow, but it can also disappear very quickly if you are not careful. Let's break this down in a simple way. Think about Sarah. She saved money for 2 years. She finally had a good amount in her account. One day, her friend told her about a great opportunity to double her money quickly. Sarah got excited. She did not ask questions. She did not check if the idea made sense. She just trusted the promise. After a few months, the money was gone. Now think about Mike. He also saved money. But when someone offered him a similar quick profit idea, he asked questions. He wanted to understand how it works. When he realized it was risky and unclear, he said no. His money stayed safe. This is the difference Chapter 10 is trying to show. It is not about luck. It is about thinking clearly. The first important lesson is this: do not risk your money on things you do not understand. This sounds simple, but many people ignore it. When someone hears about fast money, they stop thinking. They focus only on the reward, not the risk. But in real life, if something sounds too easy, there is usually a hidden problem. Let's say John wants to invest in a business. If he does not understand how the business works, he is basically guessing. It is like giving your money to a stranger and hoping it comes back. Instead, John should either learn about that business or invest in something he already understands. When you understand something, you can make better decisions. You can see problems before they happen. The second lesson is about getting advice from the right people. Not all advice is good advice. This is very important. If you ask a person who has no experience, their answer may sound confident, but it may be wrong. For example, if Sarah wants to invest in real estate, she should talk to someone who has successfully invested in it. But if she asks a random friend who has never done it, the advice might lead her in the wrong direction. Good advice comes from people who have real knowledge and experience. This is like learning to drive. You would not ask someone who has never driven a car to teach you. You would go to someone who knows how to drive well. The same logic applies to money. The third lesson is about being patient and careful. Building wealth is not fast. It takes time. Many people lose money because they try to rush. They want quick results. But quick results often come with high risk. Think about Mike again. He decides to grow his money slowly. He saves regularly. He invests in simple and safe ways. Over time, his money increases. It may not look exciting, but it is stable. On the other hand, Sarah keeps chasing quick profits. She makes money sometimes, but she also loses it. In the long run, she struggles to build wealth. So the problem most people face is not earning money. It is keeping it and growing it safely. The understanding comes when they realize that money needs protection. The solution is to think carefully, ask the right questions, and avoid risky decisions that are not clear. Let's look at a simple real-life example. Imagine you have $100. You can do two things. First option, give it to someone who promises to return $200 next week, but cannot clearly explain how. Second option, put it into something you understand, even if it grows slowly. Many people choose the first option because it feels exciting, but smart people choose the second option because it is logical. They know that protecting money is more important than chasing fast growth. Another example is small daily decisions. If John spends money without thinking, he slowly loses control. But if he plans his spending, saves apart, and invests carefully, he builds control over his money. This control is what creates long-term wealth. Chapter 10 teaches us to respect money, not in an emotional way, but in a practical way. Money is a tool. If you use it wisely, it helps you. If you use it carelessly, it disappears. One more important idea is that losing money teaches lessons, but it is better to learn from others instead of making the same mistakes. If many people lose money in risky deals, you should learn from their experience and avoid the same path. So, the journey looks like this. At first, a person earns money but does not think much. Then they lose money or see others lose it. Slowly, they understand that earning is not enough. They start thinking carefully. They ask questions. They choose safer and smarter options. Over time, their money becomes stable and starts growing. This chapter is not trying to scare you. It is trying to make you aware. The goal is not to avoid all risk, but to avoid blind risk. When you take a risk, it should be a smart decision, not a guess. In simple words, money grows when you protect it. And you protect it by thinking clearly, understanding what you do, and listening to the right people. At the end of the day, the message is very simple. Do not let your money leave you easily. Make it work for you, but guide it carefully. Ask questions before you decide. If something feels unclear, take a step back. Slow decisions are often better decisions when it comes to money. If John can learn to control his spending, avoid risky promises, and make smart choices, he will not just earn money, he will keep it and grow it. And that is the real goal. So next time you think about money, remember this. It is not about how fast you can grow it. It is about how well you can protect it while it grows. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.